Hi, the purpose of this video is to sort of show the connection between using Turnitin in Schoology and using the Turnitin.com website. So the first thing you want to do is log in to Turnitin.com and remember to use your @student account. And if you don't know your password, you can click on the reset password and it should send an email to your @student account, and you should be able to create a password for Turnitin.com. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, notice it brings me in as a student. I don't want to be a student, so I want to be an instructor here. And now I can see any classes that I have in Schoology. So this class, I didn't create it here. You usually wouldn't want to do that. You just want to, when you give an assignment in Schoology or have a class in Schoology, all of your Schoology classes should show up in here now. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this class. And now I can pick an assignment. So now one of the things that's an advantage of using the website is I can go in here and let's just look at this Gmail lesson here. And I'm going to go ahead and edit settings. And I'm going to click on the optional settings here. You don't need to worry too much about these dates and things because that's all handled by Schoology. These assignments are getting turned in through Schoology. So you'd probably want to leave some of these as they are. So I would allow submissions after the due date. I wouldn't touch that. You certainly want the originality reports generated. You don't need to worry about this again because Schoology is going to let the students resubmit. So you can't really turn it off, but you could say I'm only going to take the first one if you wanted to only use the first one that got submitted. Here you can exclude bibliographic materials from the similarity index. So that's things like well, the bibliography or a works cited page, something like that. It's going to skip that kind of information. It's smart enough to look at that and say, that's going to be the same. So exclude quoted material. So if something is in quotation marks, you can have it exclude that, or you could turn that off and count that. It just depends on, if you're giving a research paper assignment and there's going to be a lot of quoted blocks of text, you might want to exclude that so that the originality report's not getting skewed by that. Exclude small matches. I could also go by percentage, so I could say exclude matches that are more than, say, 3 or 4% of the paper, or 5%, something like that. All right, now I can go in and if you have a rubric, you could attach it from here if you want to use this for grading it. And again, these will show up in the rubric manager, even in the app within Schoology. So now here's a nice feature is that you have this ETS e-raters, and you can turn that on, and it will actually mark grammar mistakes, spelling, usage, mechanics, style. All of that will be marked for you, and then you can either choose to accept it or ignore it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. So I've changed that. Okay. And so now let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to go view, and I can see all the papers that were turned in. And let's pick one that's a doc here. So, I'm going to go ahead and go to grade. Now notice down at the bottom here it says ETS data loading. So you'll see it'll actually mark up this paper for us a little bit. And here you can see, so and it gives you an explanation. And the students can see this, so I could either dismiss it or I can add a comment to it. I could even view this in a handbook. Here's a sentence fragment. Here's another sentence fragment. So that's pretty good. And of course you can add your own things here as well. So remember you have lots of different sets here, or you can make custom sets if you want. So I could go in and make a custom set of tools. And so if you've got that, I can go in and use the rubric to mark it, What we don't have ability to use in this version is the peer mark. Unfortunately, that's not turned on for us. That may be something we can get later on, but right now we don't have that. So now I'm going to take us back to here I'm going to go to my Turnitin, and you can see, again, I'll go to the Gmail lesson, I'll resync it. And we'll take a look at that one. Now this is, again, I'm in Schoology, and I'm looking at it in the Schoology Turnitin app. And again, if I go to grade mark, it should pop up in a second. You see those. And if I had added some of these other marks, they would be there as well. So you'd see them there. I can put a grade in here, but it will show up in the Turnitin gradebook, but it won't show up in the Schoology gradebook. If I need to use that Schoology gradebook, I want to grade it here in Schoology instead. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't appear that some of those settings, like the exclude bibliography, exclude quotes, those don't seem to get carried over to this version of it. It may mean that you might want to grade them in here, and that way you can make those settings globally for the whole assignment. Anyways, I hope that helps, and take care. Happy grading.